Welcome to the School of the Lost Tribes.
This is a true story that happened in my town. So this one Wednesday is like a normal day for the whole school. But today was different. Every other class had all their kids. But Mrs. Gandy's room was totally empty. And do you know why? Because the night before, at 2:17 in the morning, every kid woke up, got out of bed, walked downstairs, and into the dark. And they never came back.
I don't understand at all. Why just her classroom? Why only hers?
Where are our children?
We have a lot of emotional parents here. I think it's best if you keep some distance from this place.
Matthew, where are you? Where did you go?
This is where the story really starts.
Aunt Gladys represents Babylon, the controlling mother system, the false power structure, and the dark hegemonic force that rules through manipulation, fear, ritual, deception, and hidden influence. She stands for a system like modern Babylon, one that appears powerful, organized, and untouchable on the outside, but underneath is built on sorcery, psychological bondage, and domination. She does not merely hurt people physically. She takes hold of minds, bends wills, and uses others as instruments of her purpose. In this symbolism, Aunt Gladys is the image of Babylon USA hegemony, a ruling structure that keeps people spiritually drunk, dependent, and under control until judgment comes upon her. Officer Morgan represents the police arm of the beast system, the enforcer who protects order on behalf of Babylon, whether he fully understands it or not. He symbolizes the part of the system that keeps people in line through authority, intimidation, procedure, surveillance, and force. He is not necessarily the architect of evil, but he is a servant of its machinery. His role shows how the beast system uses law enforcement and institutional power to maintain its control, making sure people stay in fear, stay passive, and do not challenge the larger structure ruling above them. Marcus Miller represents the worker inside the beast system, the ordinary man caught inside Babylon's machine. He symbolizes the laboring class that helps keep the system functioning, often without fully grasping how deep the corruption goes. He is part of the mechanism, part of the daily structure, part of the order that continues the beast's agenda. His character reflects how Babylon uses regular people to build, maintain, and feed the system, even while those same people are also trapped by it. He is the image of a man working under domination, shaped by psychological control, and forced to move according to the system's pressures. James Anthony represents the useful idiot of the beast system, the one who follows the line, accepts the narrative, and becomes an instrument of control without realizing he is helping preserve corruption. He symbolizes the type of person who is manipulated into compliance, who defends the order set before him, and who repeats what Babylon wants repeated. He may think he is doing right, or helping, or keeping stability, but in reality, he is useful to the false structure because he does not see beyond the surface. He becomes a picture of programmed obedience, someone psychologically aligned with the beast system, even if he does not fully understand who he is serving. Archograph represents the concerned father, still under the influence of the beast system, a man emotionally trapped, pressured, and confused by the structure around him, yet eventually able to break free from its hold. He symbolizes the individual who begins inside Babylon's web, fearful, reactive, wounded, and conditioned by the surrounding order, but who slowly comes to see that something deeper is wrong. His significance is in the fact that he breaks free. He becomes a symbol of the person who begins to resist the narrative, starts to see through the deception, and no longer remains fully subject to the controlling power around him. Justine Gandy represents those who wake up, search deeper, and begin to uncover how the beast system really works. She symbolizes the truth seeker, the watcher, the investigator, the one who refuses to accept appearances and instead presses forward until the hidden structure is exposed. In your symbolic reading, she stands for those among the people who discern Babylon's methods, see the manipulation behind the curtain, and fight to reveal it. She is not passive. She is not drunk from the cup. She is part of the awakening. Those who search, recognize the deception, and try to bring hidden darkness into the light. Madame Lily and Alex's dad represent the baby boomer generation, asleep under Babylon's intoxication, a generation that placed its trust in the tangible rewards of the beast system: pensions, 401ks, property, careers, routine, and conservative stability, believing those things could guarantee peace and security. In this symbolism, they are not the open rebels or the awakened seekers, but those who have grown comfortable inside Babylon's structure, living off its benefits, defending its order, and trusting in its material promises. They reflect the people who have drunk deeply from Babylon's cup, as Jeremiah 51:7 says, "Babylon hath been a golden cup. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad." Their madness is not always loud chaos, but a spiritual sleep, a blindness that mistakes temporary comfort for lasting safety. In your framework, Madame Lily and Alex's dad symbolize those who cannot yet see that Babylon's wealth is unstable, that her promises are deceptive, and that the very system they trusted will suddenly fail them. They are the generation resting in the illusion that retirement plans, savings, possessions, and institutional order will endure, while not discerning that Babylon's judgment comes swiftly. They stand for those who are politically and psychologically invested in keeping the old order alive, even while that order is already under judgment. When Babylon falls, they represent the ones who will face sudden destitution, shock, and collapse, because their confidence was placed in the system's tangibles instead of truth. Through them, the story reflects a generation spiritually asleep, materially settled, and unprepared for the sudden ruin of the world they thought would always sustain them: peace and meaning. In symbolic terms, Alex is what happens when Babylon raises a generation under illusion and then can no longer keep that illusion alive. The youth become unstable, bitter, reactive, and dangerous to the very order that formed them. In your framework, Alex Lilly stands for the Gen Z backlash against Babylon's false order, a generation that sees no lasting stability, no real prosperity, and no honest future inside the beast system, and therefore becomes a sign of internal collapse. He is the child of the machine who turns against the machine, the evidence that Babylon's spell is wearing off, and the proof that a corrupt system eventually produces its own resistance. He does not symbolize righteous restoration, but the chaotic fury that rises when lies are exposed and trust in the system dies. Through him, the story shows that Babylon cannot deceive forever. Eventually, the generation it misled becomes one of the clearest witnesses that the structure is rotting from within. The awakened children can represent the nations that begin to rebel against the Babylon system after finally seeing that its promises are not trustworthy. In this symbolism, they are the peoples and states that no longer want to live under a world order shaped by pressure, sanctions, military dependency, and hegemony. They begin to pull away from the old structure because they see that Babylon makes deals, breaks deals, punishes defiance, and demands submission. In that reading, the children gathering together reflects nations trying to defend themselves by aligning outside the old center of power. That symbolism fits the current mood of global fracture. China, Russia, and Iran have continued visible cooperation, including joint naval drills in 2026, while disputes over sanctions, trade, and U.S. policy have intensified arguments in many countries for greater independence from U.S.-led pressure systems. At the same time, even the anti-dollar and anti-hegemony camp is not fully unified or settled, since reporting still shows limited progress toward a single BRICS currency and uneven support among those states. So symbolically, the children are the nations waking up, resisting control, and trying to step out from under Babylon's hand, even if the rebellion is messy, fractured, and driven as much by distrust as by unity. Nations that finally see through Babylon's lies and rise in rebellion against her control. They symbolize peoples and powers that no longer trust the old hegemonic order, no longer believe its promises, and no longer want to remain under its sanctions, pressure, and military shadow. They gather together because Babylon's rule has become too unstable, too manipulative, and too punitive to follow any longer. In this reading, their awakening is the global realization that the system cannot be trusted, and their movement against it is the beginning of Babylon losing her grip over the nations.
What did you do?
Table of Contents. Introduction. Yahweh's exclusive covenant with Israel. The purpose of this book. No disparagement of non-Israelite races. The foundations used throughout this book. On the right foundation, Israel's covenant exclusivity. Believing Yahweh Shai and the consequences of unbelief. The exclusive nature of Israel in the Old Testament. The exclusive nature of Israel in the New Testament. Part 2. Replacement Theology, examined. Dare we say the Church has replaced the 12 tribes of Israel, hope, the law, and Israel in the New Testament, the exclusivity of Israel in Ephesians, Philippians, and beyond, redemption and the many, the exclusive nature of Israel in the letters of James, Peter, John, and Jude, Israel in the book of Revelation, reactions and doctrinal challenges. Next steps in the book. Common reactions to Israel's exclusivity. Reactions to the exclusive doctrine of Israel, expanded. Are there 2 or 3 witnesses for exclusive Israel? Separation, the world, and the gospel. Word meanings. Understanding separation and the world. The world, cosmos, or oikoumeni. The 2 differing gospels. Stumbling blocks to an exclusive Israel doctrine. Case studies. Israelites in dispersion. Peter's sheet vision, a closer examination. The Ethiopian eunuch, an Israelite in dispersion. The widow of Sarepta, an Israelite in dispersion. The Lord's Prayer, an exclusive Israelite perspective. Extra-scriptural doctrines exposed. The extra-scriptural doctrine of Judeans and Gentiles. Can strangers become Israelites? In thee shall all nations be blessed. That unfortunate word, Gentile. Yahushai's ministry was not primarily to the Judeans or in Judea. Identity, history, and deception. Could the modern Judeans be Israel? Can the Judeans be identified? Josephus in his comments on the Judeans. Does Edom have any marks of identification today? Judeans who are non-Semitic. Historical commentary and records. What is their blasphemy? Anti-Semitism. A tool for deception. Religious and political nonsense. Galatians, promise, and heirship. Galatians and Israel exclusivity. Interpreting Galatians in light of Israel exclusivity. Christos without Yesu, Messiah without Jesus. Can the promises to Abraham's seed be spiritualized? Who are the heirs according to the promise? In Christ versus in Jesus. Neither Judean nor Greek. Who are the Greeks? Israel in the entire New Testament. Sonship, adoption, and faith. Isaac, hearing faith and freeborn sons. In thee shall all nations be blessed. Revisited. The promise in thy seed in the New Testament. The biblical concept of adoption. The placement of a son. Analysis of the 5 adoption verses. Understanding the sons of Yahweh and the doctrine of adoption. Pilgrims, strangers, and Israel, New Testament strangers. Seed, rebirth, and sowing.